They say life begins at 70, but how long it lasts after that? Science might already hold some answers. Today, we're diving into 7 signs backed by serious research that can help predict how many more years you might have ahead after turning 70. These aren't guesses or old wives' tales. These are scientifically proven indicators that doctors and researchers have quietly studied for decades. If you or someone you love has passed that milestone age, this might be the most important video you watch today. And before we begin, I want to hear from you. What's one daily habit you believe helps you live longer? Share it in the comments below. Your wisdom could inspire someone else. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're passionate about aging with dignity, strength, and clarity. We talk about the things others don't. Openly, honestly, and always with respect. Now, let's look at the first sign that could predict how many good years are still ahead. It's something so simple, yet incredibly powerful. Number 1, walking speed, the hidden predictor of longevity. You may not think much of how fast you walk from your living room to the kitchen, but did you know that your walking speed, yes, something as ordinary as how quickly you move, can actually predict how long you'll live? This isn't a guess. It's science. Researchers from the University of Pittsburgh analyzed data from over 34,000 adults aged 65 and older. What they found was stunning. Faster walkers lived longer. In fact, those who walked just a little faster than average were significantly more likely to live another 10 years. Why? Because walking speed reflects much more than leg strength. It shows how well your heart, lungs, muscles, and even your brain are functioning together. In medical terms, this is often called gait speed. It's so powerful that some doctors now use it as a vital sign, just like blood pressure or heart rate. A gait speed of 1 meter per second or more, roughly 2.2 miles per hour, was associated with notably higher survival rates. But even improving your speed slightly over time can bring benefits. The real takeaway? If you notice that you're walking slower than you used to, or if others mention it, it's not just about aging. It could be a warning flag. Conditions like heart disease, cognitive decline, or early frailty often show up through slowed walking long before any diagnosis is made. So what can you do? Walk every day, even just a few minutes. Challenge yourself gently to increase your pace over time. It's not about running marathons. It's about staying strong, mobile, and independent. If you need support, consider walking poles, balance exercises, or even joining a local senior walking group. Don't ignore how you move. Your future may depend on it. Now, let's pause for a moment. I want to ask you, how would you rate your walking speed these days? Have you noticed any changes over the years? Leave a comment below and let's get a conversation going. Your story matters, and others might see themselves in it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We've got 6 more powerful signs to explore, each one a window into the silent language your body is speaking about your future. Number 2, grip strength. What your hands reveal about your heart. Take a moment and squeeze your hand into a fist. That simple motion might be revealing more about your future than you think. Grip strength. Yes, the force you can generate with your hands has been shown in multiple studies to be a strong predictor of longevity in older adults. It's not just about being able to open a stubborn jar or carry grocery bags. Your grip reflects your entire body's muscle health, your nervous system's efficiency, and even your heart's resilience. In a major international study published in The Lancet, researchers tracked over 140,000 adults across 17 countries. The results were clear. Weaker grip strength was linked to higher risk of death from all causes, including heart disease and stroke. In fact, for each 11-pound decrease in grip strength, there was a 16% higher risk of death. That's powerful data, and it comes from your hands. So why does grip strength matter so much? Because it serves as a mirror for your overall muscle health. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia. But when that loss becomes severe, it affects everything, from balance to metabolism to immunity. A weak grip can signal that your body's systems are declining faster than expected. Doctors sometimes use a device called a dynamometer to test grip strength. But you don't need high-tech tools to pay attention. Ask yourself, is it harder to twist off bottle caps? Do your hands tire quickly? Do you avoid lifting certain objects because you don't feel confident holding them? These could all be early signs worth watching. The good news is, grip strength is trainable at any age. Simple resistance exercises, squeezing a stress ball, or using light hand weights can help rebuild strength. And even general physical activity like walking or gardening supports hand function because movement keeps circulation strong and muscles active. Now, let's connect for a second. Have you ever noticed your grip getting weaker over the years? What have you done to improve it? Or what challenges have you faced because of it? Share your experience in the comments. You never know who might be reading and feeling the same. And remember, subscribing to this channel means you won't miss the upcoming signs that could quietly be shaping your future. We still have 5 more surprising, science-backed indicators to explore. Keep watching. Number 3, social connections. The longevity power of human bonding. Imagine this. 2 people of the same age, same health history, same daily routine. One has regular phone calls with their children, a neighbor who checks in, and weekly lunch with an old friend. The other spends most days in silence, the TV their main companion. Who do you think lives longer? The answer, according to science, is overwhelmingly clear. Social connection is not just a feel-good concept. It's a measurable predictor of lifespan. In fact, researchers have found that lacking social relationships is as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not an exaggeration. Loneliness, isolation, and a lack of meaningful contact with others have been linked to higher risks of heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, and early death. A meta-analysis published in PLOS Medicine reviewed data from more than 300,000 people and found that individuals with strong social ties had a 50% increased likelihood of survival. Not 5%, not 15%, but 50%. That's the kind of number you can't ignore. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be the life of the party or have dozens of friends. What matters is the quality of your relationships. Do you feel seen, heard, valued? That emotional nourishment does something profound to the human body. It lowers stress hormones, reduces inflammation, and keeps your brain engaged. It gives your heart a reason to keep beating, not just biologically, but emotionally. Think about your own life right now. Do you have at least one person you can talk to about your day? Someone who would notice if you didn't show up or pick up the phone. If not, this is your call to action. Reach out, even if it's uncomfortable. Join a local community center. Attend a church group. Volunteer. Even starting a small conversation at the grocery store is a step in the right direction. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's one relationship in your life that keeps you grounded? Is there someone who brings you comfort, laughter, or purpose? Drop their name or a story in the comments. It's a beautiful way to honor that connection and inspire others to rekindle their own. And while you're here, make sure to subscribe. We're building a digital community that values wisdom, honesty, and the kind of conversations that matter. For more signs are coming, each one shining a light on the way our bodies and spirits age. Stay with me. Number 4, sense of purpose. Why having a reason to wake up may add years to your life. When your feet hit the floor in the morning, do you feel like your day matters? That one question, simple yet profound, has been shown to predict how long you'll live after the age of 70. Scientists call it purpose in life, but what they're really talking about is meaning. A reason to get up, a sense that you're still needed, still capable, still contributing. It turns out, that feeling is more than just emotional comfort. It's a powerful biological force. In a long-term study published in Psychological Science, researchers followed over 7,000 older adults and discovered something striking. Those with a strong sense of purpose were less likely to die from all causes. This remained true even after controlling for age, gender, income, and health status. That means having purpose was independently linked to longer life. But what does purpose look like at 70, 75, or 85? It doesn't need to be grand. It might be tending to your garden, looking after a grandchild, teaching others a skill you've mastered, being a trusted listener in your community. Even feeding the birds every morning or writing in a journal can become acts of purpose if they give you direction and identity. You see, The human body and mind are deeply connected. When you feel useful, your stress hormones stay low. Your immune system stays alert. Your brain stays active. But when purpose fades, often after retirement, the loss of a spouse, or declining mobility, your body starts to slow down, too. It's not just sadness. It's chemistry. The beauty is, purpose is always something you can find or redefine. Even today, you're not too old to matter. You're not done growing. There are still lives to touch, even in small ways. So let me ask you, what gives your life meaning right now? What makes you feel truly alive, even in quiet moments? I invite you to share it in the comments. You never know who might be struggling, and find hope through your words. And if this speaks to you, hit that subscribe button. Here, we talk about the things others are afraid to say. Because purpose doesn't retire, and neither should wisdom. 3 more signs are coming. Each one another key to unlocking not just a longer life, but a better one. Number 5, sleep quality. What your nighttime says about your lifespan. We often talk about diet, exercise, even social connection. But there's one silent, often overlooked factor that could quietly be cutting years off your life. Your sleep. Not just how much you sleep, but how well. Multiple studies have shown that poor sleep quality, especially in older adults, has a direct link to reduced lifespan. And we're not just talking about feeling tired or cranky the next day. Chronic sleep disturbances affect every system in your body. Your brain, your heart, your immune system, even your ability to balance and move safely. In one study published in Sleep Health, researchers found that individuals over 65 who reported regular sleep difficulties, such as waking frequently at night, struggling to fall asleep, or feeling unrest in the morning, were significantly more likely to experience premature mortality than those with good sleep hygiene. Another study from the National Institutes of Health noted that disrupted sleep was strongly linked to cognitive decline, particularly dementia. So why does this happen? Because sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. At night, your brain clears out waste proteins that, if left unchecked, can lead to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your body heals. Poor sleep robs you of these crucial functions. Over time, the cost adds up. And here's something else. The quality of your sleep can reflect deeper health issues. Sleep apnea, restless legs, nighttime pain, or anxiety can all disrupt sleep, and each of those may point to an underlying condition. In other words, bad sleep isn't just the problem. It's a symptom and a signal. The good news? Sleep can be improved at any age. You don't have to suffer in silence. Create a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. Keep your bedroom cool, quiet, and dark. Avoid screens and large meals before bedtime. And if you're snoring loudly, gasping in your sleep, or waking up exhausted, see a doctor. You deserve real rest. Now I want to hear from you. How has your sleep changed over the years? Do you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep? What helps you drift off at night? Share your tips or your challenges in the comments below. Someone out there may need to hear that they're not alone. And don't forget to subscribe. We still have 2 more powerful, science-backed signs coming. Each one could open your eyes to something quietly shaping your future. Stick with me. You're doing this for you. Number 6. Weight loss without trying. A silent signal you should never ignore. Losing a few pounds might sound like a good thing, especially in a world that often praises weight loss. But after age 70, unintended weight loss can be a red flag. In fact, it's one of the most powerful silent signals that something deeper may be happening in your body, and it could be tied directly to how long you'll live. Let's be clear, we're not talking about shedding a little weight through diet or exercise. We're talking about losing weight without trying. Pounds slipping off when your habits haven't changed. Your clothes fitting looser. The number on the scale going down week after week, without any clear reason why. According to research published in the Journal of Gerontology, unintentional weight loss in older adults is linked with a higher risk of mortality. It's not just a coincidence. It often indicates underlying problems such as chronic inflammation, malnutrition, thyroid issues, undiagnosed cancers, depression, or early stages of neurodegenerative diseases. Here's what makes it so dangerous. Many older adults don't report it. They might assume it's natural with age, or even feel relieved at the change. But when your body is losing weight without your permission, it may be breaking down muscle mass, especially something called lean body mass. And that muscle is essential for balance, immunity, and metabolic function. Losing muscle isn't just about weakness. It's about vulnerability to falls, to infections, to recovery from surgeries or illness. That's why doctors often say, it's not your age that puts you at risk, it's your frailty. So what should you look for? Are your pants or sleeves suddenly looser? Have you stopped feeling as hungry? Do you feel tired or weaker than usual? Are you skipping meals without realizing it? These may seem small, but they matter. A drop of just 5% of your body weight over 6 to 12 months, if it's unintentional, is a clinical warning sign. What can you do? Start by tracking your weight monthly. Keep a food journal, and make sure you're eating enough protein, fiber, and healthy fats. If you or someone you love is eating less due to medications, dental issues, loneliness, or digestive problems, don't ignore it. Talk to a doctor or a dietitian. You're not being fussy, you're being proactive. Now I'd love to ask you something. Have you ever experienced unexpected weight loss? Or have you noticed it in a parent, a spouse, a friend? What did it mean in their case? Let us know in the comments. Your experience could help someone recognize a sign they've been overlooking. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. We have one final sign to explore, and it may be the most overlooked of them all. Stay with me, you're almost there. Number 7, difficulty rising from a chair. The everyday test that predicts longevity. Think about the last time you got up from a chair. Was it smooth and steady? Or did you have to push off with your hands, lean forward with effort, or feel a moment of imbalance before standing? It might seem like a small thing, but researchers say your ability to rise from a chair, especially without using your arms, is one of the strongest physical indicators of your future health and longevity after age 70. This simple action tests more than just your leg strength. It reflects your balance, coordination, joint flexibility, core stability, and even your cognitive control. In fact, it's such a reliable measure that many geriatric clinics include it as part of what's called the sit-to-stand test, a quick, no-equipment assessment that speaks volumes about how your body is aging. One large study published in the British Medical Journal found that older adults who had difficulty rising from a chair without using their hands had a significantly higher risk of mortality over the next several years, even when accounting for existing medical conditions. Another study showed that slower chair rise times correlated with increased risk of falls, fractures, and hospitalization. Why is this so important? Because as we age, we don't always notice the gradual loss of muscle and function. It starts subtly. First we lean on the table to get up. Then we need help from the armrest. Eventually, we avoid certain chairs altogether. But those adaptations are signs. Your body is telling you that strength and control are slipping. And without intervention, that decline can accelerate quickly. So what can you do? First, test yourself. Try rising from a standard height chair without using your hands. Can you do it? Can you do it 5 times in a row, slowly and safely? If not, don't be discouraged. Just take it as useful information. There are exercises that can help rebuild the muscles and coordination needed to improve. Leg lifts, seated squats, core strengthening routines. All can be done safely at home or with a physical therapist's guidance. This isn't about turning back the clock. It's about protecting your independence. The ability to get out of a chair on your own is more than convenience. It's freedom. It's confidence. It's the power to care for yourself. Let me ask you, how easy or difficult is it for you to stand from a seated position? Have you noticed any changes? What have you done to improve it? Or what's held you back? I'd be honored if you shared your thoughts in the comments. Others in this community may find strength in your honesty. And don't leave now. Our final message is coming up. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We've looked at the body, the mind, and the heart. Now, in our conclusion, we'll bring it all together for a future that's not only longer, but brighter. You've made it to the end, and that alone says something powerful. You care about your future, not just how long you live, but how you live. We've explored 7 science-backed signs that quietly speak volumes about your health after 70. From walking speed to purpose, sleep to strength, these are not just checklists. They're conversations your body is already having with you. Are you listening? The truth is, aging doesn't have to mean fading. It can mean focusing on what matters, on what you can control, on how you show up each day. Longevity is not a guarantee, but neither is decline. I'd love to know, which of these 7 signs surprised you the most? Which one made you stop and think? Leave a comment below. Your voice is part of this journey, and it matters deeply. And if you found value here, hit that subscribe button. This channel is about truth, strength, and wisdom earned over a lifetime. You're not alone in this, and your story isn't over. Stay strong, stay curious, stay connected. We'll see you in the next one.